and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1897A, and today's date is June 19th, 2019, and the title of the episode is The Stage is Set, Independence is the Key. Well played, Patriots. So I have a question for you. Are we looking at the start of the next stock market crash? You can see that it has been a long upward run for stocks, but recently the market has started to topple. The big question is, how far will the market fall? And during this time, Noble Gold, they have been getting their clients to buy precious metals as a hedge against their pension funds losing massive chunks of their investments. If you're worried about another market crash, give them a call at 877-646-5347 and make sure you mention X22 Report or click the link below. Let's get into the economic collapse financial news. Now, it looks like the plan that the Patriots have been developing for a very long time is going exactly the way it's supposed to happen. Today, of course, we learned that the Fed is not going to cut rates. They're not going to raise rates. What does this mean? It means the Patriots are setting the stage, and they're preparing for a rate cut. We're going to be talking about that in just a moment. But first, I wanted to head out to the Eurozone because I do believe the Eurozone is in trouble. Look what we see happening right now. In the UK, Theresa May is out, and the Brexit deal, the no-deal Brexit, is on the table. And the Europeans, the Eurozone, they don't like this. Remember, the Eurozone is the non-elected leaders that are trying to push their agenda on all the countries. We see Italy. They're looking at a new currency that will run parallel to the euro. And guess what? The individuals in the ECB, the Eurozone, they don't like this. And there is a crisis that is brewing. And we might even see the Eurozone break up. Now, you're probably saying, why am I saying this? Well, before I begin, let me just define what a mini is and what a BOT is, B-O-T. So BOT stands for Ordinary Treasury Bonds. Mini means the denomination is smaller than the lowest denomination of a regular treasury bond, which is around 1,000 euros, thus mini BOT. So let's break down what is happening right now out in Italy. Now, the two parties that make up the fractious governing alliance, the Hard Right League and the Five Star Movement, want to introduce a new type of government bond that would be used to pay off the state's debts to companies and individuals. Both the League and Five Star are deeply Eurosceptic and have in the past mooted the idea of abandoning the common currency, with Matteo Salvini, the League's combative leader, last year calling the euro a mistaken experiment that has damaged jobs and the Italian economy. The idea of introducing mini-bots has alarmed Europe, with Mario Draghi, the head of the European Central Bank, saying on Thursday that they would either amount to a parallel currency, in which case they would be illegal, or they would simply add to Italy's towering debt. Or would it? I mean, that's what the central bank is saying, but is this really what's going to happen? Or are they going to use it to move away from the Eurozone and be completely independent? And we need to remember something very important. Everything is hitting at once. Think about it. At the moment, France is in breach of economic rules. There's this little thing called the Brexit, and Italy is looking to start their own currency. Now, Italy's budget is not close to meeting EU rules. The EU has threatened excessive deficit procedures, and Italy is trying to fight back. The longer the EU waits, the more time Italy has to prepare for their mini-bot launch. Once they launch their mini-bot, well, the EU is going to be in trouble. And Italy is set to leave the Eurozone then. And the mini-bot is going to be the transition mechanism which they will use to separate themselves from the Eurozone. I believe this is already planned out. And I think the Eurozone, those days, they are numbered right now. Because really, think about it. Once the UK leaves with their no deal and Italy leaves, you think France is going to follow? You think Germany then is going to say, okay, wait, this is not happening. This is bad. You think Hungary is going to say, oh, let's stay in there? No, a lot of these countries are going to move out of this system. Remember, this was set up as a globalist system, and countries are catching on. They're realizing what these non-elected leaders, these central bankers, were trying to do, and it seems like now it is backfiring. Now, very interestingly, Trump has been talking about how the tariffs are going to work in the favor of the United States. He says that companies are going to be looking to get out of China. They're going to be moving to maybe other countries or moving to the United States. Well, we know that Foxconn, they warned that we might be moving out. And Apple right now is saying, listen, we might be moving about 15 to 30% of our production outside of the mainland. And we might be moving it to India, Vietnam, Mexico, maybe even Malaysia. Now, what's very interesting about this is that Trump visited all these places, and he knew that this was going to happen. He knew that corporations, manufacturers, were going to be moving out of China, and they would be picking these other countries. And I do believe that Trump, like we've talked about before, has already made deals with these other countries. And we're watching it happen right now. And I do believe that there's going to be many other countries that will be moving out of China. Now, very interestingly, we know that Trump is controlling the narrative of the economy. We know that the Dems, they can't do anything about it. Yes, they can say that they can make it better, or the tax cuts are no good, and they can make up different stories. But what's very interesting is Joe Biden, he is out there and he's taking credit for the economy that Trump is working on right now. So Biden is not in the office. Obama is not in the office. Trump is in the office for 2.5 years now, going on his third. And Biden tweeted out the following. Hey there, at Team Joe here. President Trump dismisses everything he doesn't want to hear as fake news. So as he announces his re-election, we want to make sure you have the real facts on his record. Let's be clear. President Trump inherited a growing economy from the Obama-Biden administration, and now he's in the process of squandering it. Really? What Trump has done is he's using all of their weapons that they used before. And I hate to say it, Obama and Biden, the economy was not that great. Remember what they were telling us? Get used to 2% GDP. Get used to having no jobs. Get used to having low pay. Get used to this, because what they were really doing was they were preparing the economy to be a third world economy. Trump used their manipulation and used it against them. Remember the argument that he had with Obama about the magic wand, where Obama was telling the voters that Trump would need a magic wand to bring back manufacturing jobs to the United States? Well, guess what? He's got the magic wand, and he's using it. And he's taken this economy, which they told us was not going to grow, which they were telling us that there were going to be no other jobs, which they were telling us that nothing, you can't do anything with. Look what Trump has done now. We know it's all statistical because he's using the weapons against them. But he's taken it and he's pushed it to the nth degree. And Biden, the only weapon he has right now is to say, yeah, this is my economy. I mean, this is just absolutely ridiculous. Do you think he'd be saying, if the economy failed, do you think he'd be saying, well, that's my economy? No. I mean, really, if you really think about it, what were they planning? They were planning on bringing the economy down. That's why the Fed was raising rates. I mean, this is a very simple formula. Raise the rates in a fake economy, you bring the whole entire system down, because the fake economy was supported by low interest rates and stimulus. Lower the rates, add stimulus, the statistical numbers look great. Doesn't mean the economy's better. The economy's awful. This is a central bank economy which is dying right now. And the Fed came out and they said, listen, we're not going to be raising rates right now. We're holding steady. And this is exactly what was planned. Why? Like I said, it doesn't matter if they raise rates now. I mean, I'd rather have them raise rates right now to make sure that the economy is on a strong footing for the 2020 elections, but they're going to make a decision in July. So here we are in June. And the reason why I do believe they did it this way, it's because of the independent factor. They wanted to make sure that the Fed looked completely independent. And they prepared the narrative that there's going to be a rate cut in July. I think that's up to 80% now. The rate cut for June was around 23%, and now they're looking at 80% chance of a rate cut, around 80% coming in July. And I believe they needed this period of time to create the narrative of why they're going to cut rates. Even though the economy is doing absolutely statistically fantastic, they need to create the narrative to explain to America why they're going to do this. Plus, they needed the Fed to look completely independent. Remember, this is a very big deal to the mainstream media, to the central bank, where they keep saying, oh, Trump is controlling the Fed. Trump is using his political push to make the Fed do what he wants. And I believe what the Patriots did here is they went ahead and they said, okay, listen, keep the rates steady. Even though Trump was out there saying, cut the rates, cut the rates, cut the rates, they know how much time they have. They know when we hit critical mass. They understand that, okay, the Fed looks independent right now. The mainstream media can't say anything because the Fed didn't do anything. The Fed now can create the narrative of why they're going to cut rates next month, and then the Fed will then cut rates. And it will look like it was the Fed making the choice to cut the rates. But whose choice was it really? It was the Patriots' choice. Well played. Perfectly. Nothing the mainstream media, nothing the deep state, nothing the central banks can say after all of this is done. They can't say anything about it because it looks like Trump is not controlling the Fed. They're completely independent. They're making an independent decision outside of what Trump wanted right now. And this was beautifully planned out. And now they're building the narrative, the story of why they need to cut rates coming up in July. Well played. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.